friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kiki. In today's video, we're going to be doing a book review on The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Before we get stuck into this review, I'm going to put it out there right now that these are my opinions and my opinions only. I am here for honest reviews. I will not just post all my happy 5-star reviews. I will post about my lower star reviews as well, because I'm someone who doesn't like to feel alone. I don't want to feel alone if I did not enjoy a book. I also want to put it out there as well that my reading style has really evolved over the years. I have been reading fantasy since I was 16 years old and I'm 32 on Saturday. I can't just fall into a story anymore. I think back when I was 16, I might have really enjoyed this book. Out of all the years of reading now, I really dive into the writing styles, the character development, the world building. Unfortunately, in this particular case, this book fell flat on so many levels. It took me 5 days to read this book, which is really slow for me. I usually finish a book within 2 to 3 days. I won't lie, this book made me feel a bit slumpy. I was getting to a point where I just wanted to DNF this. I did a couple of live reacts on my Bookstagram for this, and I had people DMing me every day going, stick through it, stick with it. The last 10% of this book is incredible, it's epic, it's amazing. You have to read the last 10% of the book. So I forced myself to read this whole book, and I'm telling you now, it was kind of a waste of time. I honestly don't even know what this book was about. The plot was so poorly written that it took until 93% of this book before I even somewhat understood part of it. This is a vampire book. In this world, your whole society is vampires and your humans are a small part. Your humans are essentially just there as lively stock. They're there for food. They have protection in the slums where they live, I think. Because again, that wasn't really described very well. It wasn't actually explained at all. Like, it was said in the book that these humans had protection, but did they? Did they really? Because I don't think they did. There is magic in this. These vampires, there's 3 clans, I believe, and there's a conflict between all 3. What the conflict actually is, I do not know. Because again, the conflict wasn't explained. All I know is that the king that is spoken about throughout this whole book runs the world, right? He knocked down the previous king's clan. I think that's what happened. I think that's all the conflict is. It's a power thing. You follow your female main character, who is a human girl. Her name is Aurea. She is found as a little child by the vampire king. He adopts her. She spends her whole entire life growing up in a vampire world in his castle. Excuse me, what? A human girl grows up in a castle and a world full of vampires. And you're telling me, and these vampires feed on humans as well as animals. You're telling me this human girl spends 23 years of her life in a castle full of vampires. The king teaches her how to fight, and when she turns 23, she enters a tournament. This tournament is where they are putting games on for their higher god. All these contestants get thrown into a palace, and they all have to live together. And they are allowed to try and take each other down between tournaments, but this only happens once. My question is, why does this not happen continuously throughout the book? Why be given the okay to take down your contestants between tournaments, but it never happens? How is a human girl entering this tournament, which at the end of the tournaments, whoever wins is the last one standing? Everyone else has to die. Hunger Games? Somebody. This human girl, her aim is to win this tournament, and then a wish gets granted. She can wish for anything. These people enter these tournaments for power, and she's going in because she wants to tie her life to her adoptive father, who is the vampire king. Again, a human girl is entering a tournament full of vampires, and she comes out on top on every single one. But we are reminded constantly through this book that she is human, she is weaker than these vampires, and how much stronger these vampires are. I'm sorry, how is she winning these fights? Who are these characters? There's no character development. I don't know their backstories. I don't know why they're entering this tournament. I don't know anything about them. There's no character development in this book. We have the MMC. Honestly, who are you? Why do we care about you? This is promoted as a romantasy book, but it is a slow burn. If you're going into this for romance, put it down right now, because it does not exist until like the last 10, maybe 15%. I think I read a completely different book to anyone else. I honestly think I read a different book. Even the magic system is not explained. Like, we have Nightfire and something else, and I'm like, why? Why do these vampires have these magical powers? I actually don't know what setting this book is meant to be in. It's not really explained. We're talking about palaces and castles, and these vampires are centuries old. Some of them are 1,000 years old, but we're using modern language. So is this an urban fantasy? Is it not an urban fantasy? The last 10% came round, and oh my god, it was actually epic. I'm not here to rate a book on the last 10%. It just doesn't make sense. I rated this book 2 stars. I was very disappointed by it. I really disliked the fact that this was just like the Throne of Glass with the tournaments in the first book there and the Hunger Games mushed together. If I had to read There She Is one more time, I was about to throw my Kindle at the wall. The amount of times this MMC said to the female main character, there she is. Like, no, we say it once or twice and it's really cool. It latches, right? It's great. I'm not here to be constantly picking up on that one line. I really wanted to love this book. I really did. I have a lot of books to friends who loved it. It has hype because there is a huge audience there that does love it. I'm just not a part of that audience, unfortunately. If you love Vampire Worlds, if you love the Hunger Games and you would like something similar, I mean, go ahead, give it a go, see if you love it. But for me, I don't even know if I'm going to read book 2. Like, I would like to read book 2 to see where it goes, especially after how this one ended. I'm also not here to waste my time. So I don't think I'm going to read book 2. I think I might just give this whole series a pass. Unfortunately, this was my first book by Carissa. So it's going to be hard for me to pick up another book of hers when I've read this one and I didn't enjoy the writing style here. If you have read this book though, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you have the same thoughts as me. Some books are for some people and some books aren't, and unfortunately this book wasn't for me. I hope you enjoyed this review, friends, and I'll see you all in the next video.